Hi everyone. Happy New Year and welcome to 2026. I know it's February now, and I did put a little post up saying Happy New Year. I had the month of January off, and I hope you all had a good start to the new year. My start to the new year was actually good, but on the 2nd of January, I became quite ill and I was taken to hospital. So I've actually spent the month of January just healing somewhat, and I am back and ready to start recording again. So I've got my Q&A. There's a lot been happening around the globe. The energies, a lot's changing, a lot's moving. I feel the energies are moving very quickly. And yeah, I'll be perhaps doing some more global predictions through my slides. But I feel also too, I might actually start perhaps doing some channeling online like this, just so I can get the information out a little faster. And then, because the slides actually take me a couple of days to really get it all, to channel the information, to find the right music, to put it together. And so I might start doing some more channeling and just maybe doing some live readings in relation to particular energies, what I feel is happening either for that month, for that country, and so forth. But for today, I'm here to do the first Q&A for 2026, and I will start. I'll start, and I'll just see how I go, because I only just started reading. So hopefully I've said my prayers and hopefully the energies are strong. I'm actually feeling the energies are moving very quickly, so I've just got to kind of tune in and focus a little. Okay, here goes the first question from Blue Onion. I have a question that I'm quite concerned. My daughter has told her father she doesn't want to go to England on a family trip this year, and he told her too bad she's going even though she doesn't want to and is 20 years old. Will she end up being forced over there? I just got yes. And will she remain here while he and her other siblings go? Will she end up being forced over there? Yes. And will she remain here while he and her other siblings go? The feeling that I'm getting right now is, I don't know if there's some kind of arrangement, for marriage or relationship arrangement, but that's what I'm kind of sensing. There may be something that he's wanting to take her over to meet with somebody. And so I'm getting a sense that the other siblings may be younger. I hope I'm actually picking up the energies right for my first question. So I'm just being told she's not going to remain. They're all going to go together. And I do see her being unhappy and reluctant to go. I see there's some kind of formalities that are going to be happening. Like I see her there with her siblings in a room, meeting people. I don't quite understand what the meetings are for. But I see it's more on a personal thing, getting to either meeting family or meeting relations, or maybe people she hasn't met before. But I see it on a personal basis in the room, meeting with people, and I feel she's going to feel a little bit like she doesn't quite fit in. She doesn't want to be there, and she's not quite comfortable, and that's what I do feel. I also feel there's study around her, and I feel her excuse to leave will be for study. I actually see that she will initially go over there, but I see her also coming back, um, perhaps back and forth initially, but coming back. Yeah. I hope I've picked up the energies accurately. Yeah, I feel I'm just sort of rereading the question, and I do feel, um, yeah, she's going to kind of be coerced to go over, and she's going to be reluctant. But I don't feel she's going to really put up a big fight. She's just going to go reluctantly, and she's going to be there. And I see her in a room meeting with people, and she's there with her siblings. And I actually feel she feels a sense of duty with her siblings as well. But I do see her almost like breaking away, and something about studies. Either she's going to need to come back for study or break away from that environment for study. So I feel if she does go, she, because I sense the trip is a long trip, but I feel she'll be back sooner. If that, I hope that answers your question. Okay, sweet fairyish. Okay. Hi, and thanks so much for the kind offer. Question: I've been recovering from an autoimmune disease, Graves' disease, for a while. Will I be able to start working again this year and maybe find love too? My life has been on pause and I really want to be able to live a normal life again. Yeah, so I don't know if this is symbolic because because I am getting the thyroid, so I imagine Graves' disease has something to do with your thyroid, but I'm actually getting swollen glands here, so it may be symbolic, but I'm actually seeing almost swollen glands. And I'm not sure if you're having issues with your vision as well, um, or you have concern about your eyes, but that's what I'm kind of what's coming to me. I'm seeing that you're not lethargic. I'm seeing that there's energy, maybe a little bit too much energy, maybe a hyperactive immune system, digestive system. I'm seeing with you more. I'm not sure. I actually see you more slender and perhaps losing weight rather than actually putting on weight. So yeah, and I do see a few issues around your digestion, like nervousness, nervous energy around your digestion. I'm finding that what I'm sensing here is your concentration is difficult. So even if you were to go back to work, you may find concentration a bit difficult and you're not going to want to stay. You're going to find it a little bit difficult because I'm feeling like there's a bit of agitation happening there for you. You need to settle that. What I'm feeling you need to do, I'm feeling like you need to calm your nervous system. So you need to go out and walk barefoot on the grass. You need to go near the ocean to pick up a little bit of negative ions. You need to actually relax your nervous system, even have Epsom salt baths where you're kind of calming your nervous system. Um, yeah. But if you want to explore this further, I'm happy to sort of do a medical intuitive reading with you. So please feel free to reach out if you're wanting to pursue this further. But to answer your question, will you be able to start work again this year? Um, I feel that if you were to start work, you wouldn't sustain it. So you won't really be sustaining being at work. And it would be more towards the second half of the year. I feel if something comes up in the first half of the year, it's not going to be sustained. More the second half of the year that you may actually be able to settle a little bit. But you need to sort of introduce some protocols into yeah. But I won't go too deeply into it on a public forum, just out of your respect and, you know. Um, so in terms of finding love as well, not this year. I think within the next 2 years I'm feeling, but not, I don't feel this year. I feel you need to work on, I just feel like you need to work on building your confidence, getting out there and building your confidence and having conversations a bit more. Um, in terms of relationship, I feel not necessarily this year. Um, you need to sort of be opening your heart to meeting people, even though you're feeling like you're looking for that. I just sort of feel there's some, it could be around your illness that it's kind of affected your confidence a little bit. So they're the little things that you need to sort of work on in order to sort of progress forward. But I do see things turning around for you, but I do see that this year will be more about healing and having to work at your health. Your health will need to come first before work, before love. And once you get that, it will open up for you. I see that this can all happen for you within the next couple of years, definitely. Okay, good luck. Okay. From Miss G Miss, will the Chinese embassy be built, and will Starmer ever get arrested for treason? Well, you haven't told me specifically which Chinese embassy. The fact that you're mentioning Starmer, I presume that it's in the UK. You're going to have to kind of clarify where you're actually asking for the Chinese embassy for me to actually give you a more accurate reading on that. Starmer won't be arrested. He's going to be ousted. I do see him having to face some kind of tribunal, though. Um, Not necessarily for treason, but I do see him sitting before a tribunal of some sort, having to speak. I don't see him being arrested, but I do see his government collapsing, and I do see him being ousted. But if the Chinese embassy, I need to know which Chinese embassy that you're actually talking about. Okay, next question. Will my son JS find his soulmate? I just got yes, he definitely will. Yes, he definitely will. And I just got sooner than he can expect. Sooner than he can expect. I feel you're wanting it more for him than he's actually. You'll be on the radar for it more than he's actually going to be aware of it. I feel somebody is going to enter his life soon. And it's not going to start in a romantic way. It's going to come in um, for something else, either some kind of connection through either delivery of a service or a job of some sort. But it's going to be a connection through something else that will actually he'll get to meet with somebody, and it will be built on that. And I'm getting it will be nice. It will be nice and natural progression. The Australian share market downturn. Many are predicting a market crash very soon. Do you see the same? This is from EB7694. Okay. I just got the Australian market will not crash. It won't crash. Um, there'll be inflation, there'll be price rises, there'll be fluctuation in, I've said this in another reading, I see the property prices rise and then I see a drastic fall, but that's a bit further away. I don't see the stock market crashing. I see dips, but nothing that can't be sustained. Um, Believe it or not, I do feel Australia is going to be able to sustain. I feel that the economists here, whether they're running the government well or not, I feel the economy will able to be sustained, probably through our exports of our minerals and so forth, that may sustain. But I don't actually see a great crash, no. I hope not. Okay, thanks for your question. Rex, UZ, hello Laura. How do you view the banking sectors in Switzerland, the UK, or the Czech Republic following a potential financial collapse? Will devaluation be universal, or will certain currencies maintain their value? I feel this year is going to be a very volatile year in many ways. There's a lot of, this is the year that a lot's going to be happening. There's a lot of chaos. It's things are coming to its forefront. And there are people who want the economy to crash, want governments to dissolve or crash. They want chaos because they want to usher in an authoritarian global order, pretty much. And I feel this will be the year that this will be the start of that really being out in the open. I feel of the countries that you mentioned, I'm just being told Czech Republic will stay firm. Switzerland will drop, but they'll stay fairly strong. UK will have an issue. UK is going to have an issue. I actually feel America is going to have to come to UK's rescue in some way. And I feel that that's going to be happening from this year, but for the next 2-3 years, the United Kingdom is going to be really having an issue. The Czech Republic is kind of in a good little pocket, I'm feeling. And I'm feeling the administration, the current administration in the US, the Trump administration is with all the volatility happening, they're trying their very best to maintain and stabilize the economy, to maintain. So really be following what's happening in America as to what's going to happen globally, because they're kind of superseding, not allowing BRICS to actually, for their currency to take hold, for them to take over. And so while the US dollar is strong and maintaining a strong economy, you're going to find globally things will be able to sustain. I'm getting some of the smaller nations are actually going to do a little better than some of the larger nations. France is going to have a problem. Yeah, but anyway, that will be in another video. I'll have to go deeper in another video. But in terms of Switzerland, I feel I'm being shown that people are going to be pulling money out of Switzerland. UK, I'm just kind of getting, it's almost like it's going to burn. The place is going to burn. I'm really sorry if you're from the UK, and I hope I'm wrong. But it could just be some kind of symbolism rather than physically burning. And with all, I do see anarchy and chaos happening, but I also do see systems collapsing there. So maybe the burning is symbolic of systems collapsing. Yeah, hope that's answered your question. Will devaluation be universal? Yeah, I think I've just answered that question. Certain currencies will definitely maintain. There'll be a handful of those larger Western nations that are going to actually struggle. Hi, Laura. I have another question. What do you see for the European Union in the next few years? Do you think it will collapse? Yeah, I do. I listen to other psychics channels, and some believe that the EU countries will leave. There will be some EU countries that will leave the EU, and it will collapse as a result. This is from 2011. Um, yeah, I've predicted that the EU is actually going to have an issue. I believe in a previous couple of videos previously I've done, I feel Italy and Greece, I see two countries that will be breaking away. I predicted Italy was going to stand firm against some of the EU policies. There's other countries that actually do want to break away, and they're waiting to be emboldened by somebody else doing it first. And once that starts to happen, yeah, I do see that happening. I also see that they're trying to counter a lot of what the US is doing and undermine. And what's actually happening is they're going to create an issue for themselves. Yeah, they will create an issue for themselves, and there are people that's going to be rising and actually within the EU countries. The next few years are going to be difficult for the EU. I see from now, 2029 up to 2029, even 2032. I see from 2026 to 2032, the EU is really going to have some issues. Spain's going to have issues. France is going to have issues. Sweden, Ireland. Yeah. Okay. I hope that's answered your question. Okay. Rex again. Should I sell my apartment right now or wait until later? I just got wait until later. There's talk of inflation or devaluation. Will I be able to sell the place and buy a new one after moving out without any issues or financial losses? Well, the thing would be is if you're selling your house, your place at a high price, you're also going to be buying at a high price. So you're not going to want to do that simultaneously. If you're going to want to sell, you need to wait for the right time to sell and then wait for the right time to buy. And so what you're going to do in between is it something that you're going to have to work out. But I wouldn't be looking at doing that simultaneously because you will suffer a loss trying to do that, trying to bridge that. So if you're able to sell it and maintain a residence while you look for another residence, that will actually be more beneficial than trying to do both. It would just be a timing, and I am getting wait. Yeah, not too long, but just wait. You really need to track it and just wait. I'm getting the first half of the year is going to be more volatile. I'm getting the second half of the year may have settled a little bit. Okay. Is it the other way around? Okay. Second half of the year is more volatile. I'm getting wait until March and April to start putting it out now, but don't be too hasty. So the timing would be wait till for the right opportunity to come along. You can start organizing selling it now. March, April would be the time to start working on it, but just don't sell it too quickly. Just make sure, don't be in a hurry to sell it. Make sure the second half of the year may be more advantageous to buying. I hope that's answered your question. Okay. Freeman Kathleen. Hello, and thank you for this offering. Should I continue doing my new career or pivot? Okay. I just got pivot, 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 pivot. So I hope that makes sense for you. And I just got definitely pivot. And I'm seeing opportunities moving this way, eastward for you. Okay, hope that's answered your question. Next question. Binti Lady, I think it is. Okay. Hello. How was your holiday? Please share 2 to 3 things you're deeply compared to share with your audience from a spiritual perspective or gems you're living by for 2026. Okay. It's a personal question for me. So share 2 to 3 things that I feel compelled, I imagine you're trying to say here, to share. Okay, the start of the year, I was unwell and I went to hospital and my whole digestive system shut down. So this year is about my personal health and my spiritual health and my spiritual growth. And the foundation to that, everything else will open up there. So want to go back to doing what I used to do, writing my dreams, recording my dreams, being out in nature more, gardening. My form of meditation is I like to be outside, but spiritually, just my heart's open to just take it. I don't really. I'm just focused on my health, my family, my home, and really sharing my visions with you all here. So I hope that that share's been okay. All right, thanks for asking. From Matt, will Canada have an early election? No, Canada's not going to have an early election. And I know that there's a petition going for Alberta to actually secede. That's going to be a little bit, it's picking up traction, but I feel they're going to make it a bit difficult for that to happen. There's something there that's going to kind of make it a little bit difficult for that to eventuate. But I feel what's going to happen is that's going to stir enough and put a little bit of, it's going to shake things up enough to force some, I'm getting resignations. It's going to force some resignations. And I just got your Prime Minister is likely to resign before an early election. I feel their objective is if they resign, they can put in a new face and keep the election moving forward. I mean, keep themselves in power longer leading into an election. And I feel that could happen. That could happen. I feel your Carney is going to get quite a bit of backlash, more than he's had. And I feel things are going to be revealed about his past and about some of the cabinet members. Things are going to be revealed that's going to force early withdrawals. But I'm getting that it won't force an early election but it's okay because there's been enough now to shake things up. Yeah. Okay. Thanks for asking the question. Next question. Gay Ladair. Hi, Laura. Thank you so much for this offering. My question is around my digestive system. I have had a chronic stubborn constipation for years, and for the last 3 years, I get rectal pressure, especially after I eat anything. I have been eating a plant-based diet for 20 years and drink a lot of fluids, so I don't understand what's going on. I just got an issue with your liver straight out. I don't know if you've got a fatty liver. Yeah. And I don't know if you're getting pain in the upper region and around the back, but I'm getting that you need to actually work on your liver. I'm getting that you need to actually, and I'm getting you got low bile as well. You're really going to need to work on building up your hydrochloric acid in your stomach. Um, but you really need to start to do some tonics and start to do some things that are going to regenerate your liver and kind of sort of remove toxins from your liver. I feel there's been long-standing toxins there. And I feel because you've got low bile and you're not able to actually, you've got a sluggish digestion, not actually able to absorb the nutrients properly. Also, too, you may have an issue with combining your food. The food combinations that you're using might be causing a bit of fermentation, but I really do see this region is struggling. But I'm feeling the trigger, and I'm getting, you need to be cautious with the insulin spikes, cautious with your pancreas as well. Yeah. So you've been eating a plant-based diet for 20 years. I'm actually feeling like you need more fat in your diet, but good fats, the omega-3, the essential fatty acid type of fats that's going to help to start to rebuild your liver. I feel like you're not getting enough of that. You can't be depriving, and the only way you're going to rebuild your bile is actually getting good fats into your system. I actually do feel you need more protein and fats in your diet and less carbs in your diet. Mainly because I'm finding that you may be having trouble sort of assimilating that food together, combining it together. If you want to sort of go in deeper, please feel free to reach out for me. God bless. Reach out to me, sorry. God bless. Okay, next question, Max. I've met someone called Molly. Would she go out with me if I asked her? I just got yes, and you hold yourself back. I'm getting a young energy, so either you're young or you're very young in spirit, in like personality, but I'm getting youth, unless Molly's young, but I'm getting youth. I just got you asked, just do it. Just ask and yes, do it. I think because this was done 9 days ago, perhaps you've already done it. And if you have, I'd love to know the response. Good luck with that. Okay, another question from 2011. Thanks, Laura, for having the time to answer our questions. The first one is about the split of the coalition party in Australia. Do you think that they will reunite? Do you see a change in the Liberal and National leadership? My second question is about China. Do you see a change in leadership or the collapse of the Communist Party in China? Okay, let's start with your first question. Is the split of the coalition in Australia, do I think that they will reunite? The coalition being the Liberals and the Nationals. I actually am, and I've been getting this feeling now for the past few weeks. I'm seeing that Labor and the Liberals are actually going to team up against One Nation. Their objective is to actually stop One Nation's growth. And I feel that there are people in the Nationals that aren't happy with the policies and where Liberals are going. So I don't really see cohesion there, and I see the Liberals will continue to fail. And the One Nation Party will continue to take traction. In fact, they've actually overtaken, in the polls, they've overtaken the coalition, and they're not too far behind Labor. But I see Labor and the Liberals forming an alliance of some sort to try to oust One Nation, particularly Pauline Hanson. But there are more people coming on board because of what One Nation is representing for the people, and there's a lot of momentum. And I've said it before, I don't feel that One Nation, they will definitely start to yield a lot of influence and power, but they won't win this next election. They're more likely to win 2032, and possibly Pauline Hanson running for Prime Minister. And I've said it before, I feel she's very ambitious. So I just got the Liberal Party's going to kind of collapse. I wouldn't be surprised if a new party's formed, or they're just absorbed. They're sort of split between Labor and One Nation. I just got the Greens are going to break away from Labor. I don't know why. It could be if they're forming some kind of alliance with Liberals, there may be some of their policies that they're going to need to sort of address. And I feel Greens are going to kind of break away from some of Labor's policies. So there's going to be some fighting there, but One Nation will continue to grow strong, is what I'm sort of sensing. Yeah, they'll try. There may be change in the Liberal national leadership, but honestly, I'm just getting to no avail. It's really not going to really make a dent. They're going to have to join Labor to really try to do something, but they're not going to be able to reverse the trajectory of where Australian politics is heading now. And the second question about China, I definitely do see a leadership change. I feel like Xi is being challenged. I'm seeing that the Communist Party in China, I'm seeing that they're kind of like they're hanging on, and I feel it is a potential that the Communist Party can collapse. But I also see something rearing its head, new leadership change. I feel Xi's going to be ousted. I feel he's hanging on. They're trying to do things, but I just feel there's going to be a bit of anarchy, and they may be ousted because they want to hold on to. I feel that they think he's weak. Because they want more aggressive policies and more aggressive approaches coming through, and they don't feel that he's been very successful, is what I'm feeling, and from the little that I've read around the place. But I don't see the communist. I'm seeing communism trying to take hold, but I'm seeing the collapse of communism around the place. Where they've actually been trying to take hold, that's going to start to break down and collapse. But they're trying their best to take hold. I feel China's going to have a financial collapse of some sort. But I do feel that there's something that's going to rise up through that, and it's going to be some kind of strong communist political push come through that. Yeah, hope that's answered your question. I think that's everything. Oh no, sorry. Here we go. Always psyched to see your videos. This is from Angel AVM, okay, or Angela VM, sorry. Always psyched to see your videos. So happy that you see you online again. I don't usually do personal questions, but my daughter has a big dream. I'd like to ask you if you have the time. Of course I do. She wants to be a farmer and own her own farm. Problem is, of course, that something like that is nearly impossible without it having been in the family or having a ton of money. I promised I'd sell my house and come live in her shed, but alas, that would not be enough. Can I see this happen anyway? My daughter, her name is Anira, very nice name, living on a farm with me nearby to support her, possibly family. If it is too difficult or awkward to answer personal questions, no, I can definitely answer if you're happy. And do I have any feelings about the so-called culture wars going on? Okay, so let's start with your first question. Um, what I'm what I'm feeling is you need to start. It can happen, but you need to start more smaller, like a homestead, and expand rather than go in straight for farming. It's going to actually really be difficult, and it's going to be ambitious and very difficult, and it can deplete money very quickly, particularly if the environment, the environment for farming and production and that create is economically in the actual government is a problem. Um, let me just start that again. Um, I do feel that it can be done, but I feel she needs to start small, something small, almost like starting a homestead and then expanding on that, rather than going in and just going flat out and trying to tackle on something really big. I feel economically it's going to be an issue for her and yourself. I do feel it will be able to be managed, and you'll be able to expand as the economy improves as well for farmers. But I feel it may be a little difficult trying to go all out in trying to do something a bit more grand. If you start with something small and put things in place, either something like a homestead, and grow from there. I feel not quite larger than a homestead, but not a full-on big farm. I feel that's going to actually be more beneficial for you. I feel you'll be able to expand without putting so much pressure and strain, and you'll be able to put systems in place that will actually be more sustaining. I feel now I just feel you don't have enough around you, either financially, enough hands to help as well. So you need to actually start a bit smaller and work up to something bigger. I hope that's answered your question, and good luck with it. The next question is feelings about the culture wars. The culture wars politically, I talked about that here in Australia, and it's pretty much the same politically around the globe. There, and the culture wars internally in the countries is actually coming because of the mass migration. And for example, Spain has just given amnesty to 500,000 immigrants, and they're going to have issues. You're going to really see culture wars there happening. Culture wars, more violence, more crime. And that's what I see brewing and taking off this year. And it's going to, some places may be till around 2028, 2029. Some places will go all the way to 2032. I do see things changing, and people standing up and rising against it. But I also see governments trying to implement policies, and one of those is Australia recently introduced a policy where under the age of 16, you can't go on the internet for social media. Spain is also introducing that. So you can start to see it's something that they're also now looking, I believe it's Spain or France are looking at, they've just raided the office of X in Paris because they're wanting data. And they're claiming that there needs to be more disinformation coming out through those platforms. It's being said that they're wanting to control and censor people. The UK was threatening to fine Apple I think $10 million a day or something until they handed over all their data, until the VP, the United States VP, Vice President, actually intervened. So I'm feeling like that is trying to take hold. They're trying to implement these policies. Some places will be successful. But you'll see within those countries that are able to implement those policies where they're able to censor and control, there is a momentum happening within those countries, within those societies where they're standing up against it. And I feel that it will fail, that the authoritarian push will fail. It's just when. And so I would say between the next 5 to 7 years is going to be very rocky times for some countries. Yeah, and yeah, hope that's answered your question. From Andy, US and Israel are poised to attack Iran. Will this be a prolonged war? What will the outcome be? Okay, what I've actually read, I think yesterday or today, Iran's trying to do sneaky attacks on the US, sending out drones out to their carriers, their ships that are out in the ocean that are positioned in the Middle East, and they've shot down drones. But I've also seen that China is trailing one of their carriers, one of the US carriers, to probably as a reconnaissance of on behalf of Iran, perhaps. So I see that US is likely to do counterattacks on something that Iran will be, if Iran is initiating something first, US will be doing a counterattack. But Israel will be the one that will come forward and actually do a full out. There might be an exchange between Israel and Iran with the support. Israel will have the support of US. I feel it's going to be fleeting. It's going to be short-lived. And I feel the tensions will continue to brew. And I'm feeling that China's now trying to assert itself in the Middle East region in terms of its boats trailing, its ships trailing the US carrier ships. But I don't see a full-out exchange. I do see exchanges on the water, but I don't see it's going to be a fully fledged war where it's going to spread. I feel like it's going to happen very fast, very aggressive, and contained. Yeah, but I might do a video and go deeper in that because I've been really getting a feeling about that as well. Okay, that's all the questions I have for today. And I will be looking at doing more of these again in a couple of another Q&A in a couple of weeks. But I'd be looking at doing another video soon, whether I do it via a slide or do it like this with some of the messages that I'm getting regarding what's happening globally. But until then, thank you for watching. Thank you for asking your questions, and God bless, and see you soon.